on this day, 7 years ago, former Bafana Bafana captain Senzo Meyiwa was killed at his girlfriend's house in Vosloorus. Now, yesterday, 5 men charged in connection with the murder appeared in court, and the case was postponed to April next year. But Meyiwa's brother, Sifiso, says the suspects were beaten up in prison and forced to say they killed his brother. He joins us now from Pietermaritzburg. We're going to conduct the conversation in isiZulu. I'll translate at the end of the conversation. Sifiso, siyabonga ngesikhathi sakho mfowethu. Asike siqale la. Izolo ngenkathi ukhuluma neintatheli ecourt. Uthe labantu ababoshiwe akubona ababulala uSifiso. Ukwazi kanjani lokho?
Okay. Yeah, okokuqala nje ngiqale la as long leli cala lisaphethwe labasesha abakhona manje. Ngeke lize lisolveke. Ama intentions aba akubona ukusolve icala, ukusimislead. Ngobani? Ngishiswa indlo, ngishiswa ukuthi ba oyedwa wabo wantshontsha istatement from idocket. Lento sengikhathele ukule ngithula ngayisho angazi ukuthi why ngile ngiprotest abantu abangenandaba nathi. Manje sengiyakusho wantshontsha i-statement from idocket, and ikhona i-case against lelo police, and angazi bengisifisa upresident angenelele kule nto ukuthi asimdingi umuntu oyi-suspect ecaleni lasekhaya ukuthi naye aphathe i-case. Ushuthi vele ukulungisa ngasikuthole lo muntu ususpect vele asimdingi la kuleli cala.
Asike senze kanje Sifiso, asike senze kanje uthi kunephoyisa eliphenya leli cala eliyi-suspect kwalona.
Yes.
Uba igama leli phoyisa?
Hayi ngingilisho igama, athi we lead investigation.
Ukwazi kanjani ukuthi uyi-suspect?
Ngiyakwazi ngoba kukhona kwi-docket le. Ngiyakwazi ngiyazi nokuthi wasithatha kubani emva kwalokho waphika ukuthi wasithatha leso statement.
Ithimba lokuqala
leso statement sasolidele ekutheni kusho lo muntu uyena amprotectayo. Yazwa ukuthi hamba kanjani. Leso statement sasolidele ukuthi kuboshwe lo muntu abamprotectayo. Manje bona sebegijima bazobopha labantu abawu-5 ngoba bafuna ukuthi icala livalwe, bakhava lento yokuthi bona sebenzele lento le.
Umphakathi wase-South Africa, Sifiso, unani kulokho ekuthenini kumele batholwe abantu ababulala uSenzo?
Yes.
Angibuze lo mbuzo. Uma uthi kune-statement esintshontshiwe kwi-docket elalihlanganiswe amaphoyisa okuqala, leli docket le-statement esintshontshwa yileli phoyisa othi kwalona liwumsolwa kuleli cala. Asibeke kanje, ubani lo enicabanga ukuthi bazama ukumvikela or ukumprotect?
Amagama ngifuna ukwasho but siyazi ukuthi ubani. Ngicela nje ukuthi ungazami ungayimoshi icase. Yeah, angifuna ukusho amagama but vele kwenzeka lapha endlini kwenzeka kwangayona intention, kwenzeka iphutha kuxatshwana endlini basibuleka ngephutha. Basuka lapho-ke bakhi story, bakhi cover up ukuthi no asingakuvezi lokhu for imedia. Bathiwa benzela imedia, bathi lento abayenzayo benzela ukuthi cover up.
Ima-ke Sifiso usuya breaker futhi. Ake ngizame kanje. Izolo ngenkathi ukhuluma neintatheli, ubuye walikhipha futhi elithi ithimba lokuqala lamaphoyisa elaliphenya leli cala lathi kahle kahle sebebatholile abantu abalivumayo leli cala, and labo bantu labo ba-ready ukwenza i-confession. Okay, I'm told that Sifiso is gone. The line completely bad, and I must apologize to you because this is one conversation that is quite key. Let me tell you what he has told us thus far, and that is that they are of the view, as the family, that there is a police officer who is part of the current investigating team whom they see as a suspect in this matter. The reason is simply this, that this police officer, they allege, has stolen a statement that essentially is some kind of a confession from the person who was at the house at the time that this incident happened 7 years ago. And this is understood to be some kind of confession. Now, the reason this statement is being taken off or has been stolen, as he puts it, from the docket, is in order to protect this person. Now, the family, you will understand or you will recall, has always stated that they were told by the people who were in that house that there was a fight and a gun was pulled out and Senzo Meyiwa was shot by mistake. So that's where the family stands on this matter. We're going to try and see if we can get Sifiso Meyiwa back, but that is where the family stands. And that's why they are of the strong view that the case right now, or the people that are before court right now, are not the people who murdered their son. We're going to try and see if we can continue the conversation after the break. Vish Naidoo of the police also waiting in the sidelines to respond to what Sifiso Meyiwa is telling us this morning. Let's take a break. We'll continue in a moment. Very good morning to you once again. We continue the conversation around the 7th anniversary of the sad death of Senzo Meyiwa, the former Bafana Bafana captain. You will remember that on this day, 7 years ago, he was shot and killed in Vosloorus. At the time, he was at the home of his girlfriend at that time, Kelly Kumalo. Sifiso Meyiwa is the brother to the late Senzo Meyiwa. Sifiso, just so you know, on the line, we also have Vish Naidoo, who speaks for the South African Police Service. Asiqedelele kanje nawe amaphoyisa athi lokhu okushoyo neintsolo zenu njengomndeni wakwaMeyiwa aninabo ubufakazi balento enishoyo, ngoba uma beninobufakazi obugcwele ngabe senahamba nayovula icala ngale insolo eniyishoyo. Yini eyenza ukuthi ningalivula icala phezu kokuthi ni advisor abantu be-AfriForum? Labantu laba okokuqala ngicabanga ukuthi niyabathemba njengomndeni, angithi?
Yes, ikhona icala lavula icala likhona.
Okay, so nihambile nawo livula icala, nivula icala nilivulela against ubani?
No, icala likhona livulwe amaphoyisa vele bekade nawe ephenya le case. Evulela le phoyisa le lentshoni statement.
Yo? All right.
Likhona la I think it livulwe ngo-2019 lelo cala.
Ngo-2019.
Yeah.
All right, let's get the response from Vish Naidoo now. All right, now the question I had put to Sifiso, just as we were continuing the conversation, is that the police have said that they don't have strong evidence of what they are alleging, because if they did have evidence, they would have gone to court or to a police station and opened a case. Now, he is responding and saying that they actually have a case opened, but it wasn't opened by them as a family. It was opened by the first team of the police officers that were investigating this matter, and the case was opened against a fellow police officer, the one who is alleged to be stealing documents from the docket. Let's get the response now from Vish Naidoo, who speaks for the police. Vish, very good morning to you. First and foremost, how do you respond to allegations that the people who are before court, the ones who appeared yesterday, are not the real killers of Senzo Meyiwa?
Very good day to you, or very good morning to you, Colin, and thank you very much for this opportunity. Let me firstly start by saying I think the whole nation is aware of how long this investigation had taken, how many teams were actually involved in this investigation, until this current team took over. When they took over, they worked around the clock. We didn't necessarily provide detailed responses to the nation or detailed blow-by-blow accounts to the nation on the progress of that investigation, until we came to a point where we had a media briefing and a pronouncement was made, led by the Minister of Police, that the suspects in the Senzo Meyiwa case have been arrested. Now, these arrests didn't just come overnight. There was in-depth investigations conducted and sufficient evidence collected, and the prosecution team felt that there was a prima facie case against these 5 accused, and they were subsequently arrested, and they've been kept in custody. I think it's very important to note they have been denied bail and they've been kept in custody in all this time since the pronouncement was made last year, which suggests or which means that we have the right suspect or the right accused, maybe not necessarily all of them yet, but we have the right accused so far in this case. We even went so far as to highlight who we suspect or who we believe may have pulled the trigger on that day. So this allegation,
if you have the right suspects in case, as you say, Vish, shouldn't these suspects then include a member of the South African Police Service who is alleged to have had a case opened against him by fellow police officers, the very first team that investigated this particular case?
No, well, there's 2 aspects to this, Tolly. The one is the allegations that Sifiso is making. Firstly, he's suggesting that we don't have the right accused, right? So what we're saying to Sifiso is come to us and provide us with the evidence, provide us with the names of the right accused and evidence to support those claims. That's one. 2, we're saying that when the claims is making that these accused were forced to testify or forced to make confessions. Now, each of these accused have their own senior counsel representing them. Each of these accused have made multiple appearances in court, meaning they have ample opportunities to present at the very onset to a magistrate and then to a judge. Remember, now this court is in the High Court. At no stage have the accused or the legal representatives even made slightest suggestion that they were forced to make confession. And thirdly, over and above all of this, there is the AFI Forum with a seasoned prosecutor that's monitoring this case, and they welcome his arrest, they welcome the progress made by the police. Now, the second thing about this case being made against a police officer, that matter is being dealt with by IPID. Now, IPID is running their course of investigation, and they can testify or give information as to what is the progress on that investigation. It's got no bearing on this case. It has no bearing on this team whatsoever.
All right.
Remember, as I said initially in my opening remarks, there were different teams allocated to this investigation, and this allegation that is being that Sifiso is talking about has no bearing on any of the members on this particular team.
All right, Vish, let's pause there with you. Sifiso, awuthi ngibuze nangumbuzo. Vish Naidoo here ukhuluma ngendaba ukuthi ni njengomndeni nine prosecutor lapho eUherinel unesipiliyoni esikhulu kabi. Umbuzo uthi engabe nikhuluma ngazwilinye na uma nithi labantu ababoshiwe akubona nikhuluma ngazwilinye noHerinel lo ophuma ku AFI Forum?
Angabusho angisibane indlela nabo abasebenza ngayo ukufuna ukuthatha ama-steps, izinto bayithatha ngendlela yomthetho, izinto ey'ningi abafuna ukuyikhuluma banendlela abasenza ngayo izinto abafuna ukuyikhuluma noma.
All right. I think we get the gist of your response, Sifiso, although the line is quite bad. But the question simply I was putting to Sifiso is, if they are of this strong conviction that the people who are before court right now are not the killers of their fellow brother Senzo Meyiwa, why is it then that they are not speaking with one voice with AFI Forum? Or are they speaking with one voice with AFI Forum? So he says, well, Herinel is approaching this matter from a legal standpoint, so they don't want to say too much right now. They are going to say or have their turn at the time that the legal processes allow. So for the time being, this is where we're going to leave the conversation. Vish Naidoo from the police, thank you very much for your time and your insistence indeed. We truly appreciate it that you get given the right of reply. This is how we do things here at Newzroom Afrika. So thank you very much for coming in so quickly. Sifiso Meyiwa, thank you very much for your time as well.